Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Everything is Bad new Fangled Motion Picture Show.
Hello, Internet. It is I, Niall de la Mancha, Knight Errant, and my squire, Nolan.
Just Nolan.
Just Nolan.
Sancho doesn't have a title.
No. We're here to review The Man Who Killed Don Quixote. Quixote. The movie from Terry Gilliam that took him over 2 decades to get made.
Yep. I've been seeing people say, just randomly, like, Terry Gilliam's working on this movie for 20 years, or 30 years, or 25 years, or whatever, but it's somewhere in that.
Yeah, so,
frame.
Okay, to be fair, Terry Gilliam hasn't been working on this movie that whole time.
No, what it is every time he's tried to make it before, something has put a stop to it. Loss of funding. He's had 2 instances where actors died. He had the last time John Hurt was cast as Don Quixote, and we know John Hurt passed away.
Yep.
In around 2000, you can find a documentary called "Stuck in La Mancha" or "Trapped in La Mancha," something like that. That's about one of his attempts, the attempt that got the furthest prior to this, with Johnny Depp.
Is that the one where all their equipment got washed away in the wash?
Yeah, so that had a bunch of things happen where they'd only shot for 6 days.
Right.
Johnny Depp was cast in the role that Adam Driver is, but I think his character was named something else. And they were shooting in Spain and in a desertous region of Spain. A lot of Spain is that way, and they were shooting in a wash, and the storm came along, and anyone who's grown up in the desert can tell you that the reason why a wash forms is because all the water goes right there.
Yep.
And so they threw tarps over the equipment and got into the vehicles to wait out the rain, and the rain came and flooded the wash and destroyed all their equipment.
Clearly, no one in their crew grew up in the southwest United States.
You think they'd at least have had some Spanish...
some Spaniards who would have been like, "Hey, Terry,
yeah,
you want to move all this equipment, man?"
Yeah, I'm sure they had like Spanish crew from the area, but on top of that, their actor who was playing Don Quixote, he hurt his back as well, and then was like hospitalized, and so like they only got 6 days of shooting. He managed to make a documentary about it, but. So anyway, we're going to review this movie.
Yeah, we're going to do our normal thing. We're going to do a spoiler-free review, then give you a spoiler warning, and then go more in-depth into it. And you may or may not have an opportunity to see this movie.
Yeah, we're not sure. It's sort of up in the air about distribution right now. There's a whole legal thing with somebody that was supposed to produce a previous attempt and that didn't come through with any money, and then Amazon came along and gave Terry Gilliam money, and now this guy's come along and said, "No, I have rights to that movie," and Amazon backed out. He still has the money, got the money from Amazon to finish the movie, but it wasn't until after the movie was finished that this guy came along, and then there's this whole legal battle, and Amazon's like, "We don't want any part of this," so they backed out of distribution. But right now, Terry Gilliam has distribution for the time being, but I think this guy's coming back to try to appeal that, and he pieced together the money for a one-night Fathom event, which we saw last night.
Yeah, if it goes up for digital streaming in other countries, you might be able to watch it using a VPN or something to spoof your IP. That might be the only way. That Americans have, at least for the foreseeable future. There's no, as far as we can tell, can't really find any word on them getting distribution settled for America, other than this one-night Fathom event that we went to. So,
but which is it's kind of sad because one, this is a passion project that, you know,
So Terry
he's
Gilliam
been working on for a long time.
Every Terry Gilliam movie, not every, most Terry Gilliam movies feel like, like a step above a student film.
Yeah. It's kind of his style.
Anyone who's seen
They're very indie.
12 Monkeys or any of the Monty Python stuff,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And this definitely has that feel about it, despite the fact that it has some pretty well-known actors in it.
Yeah. Adam Driver and Stellan Skarsgård, both in it.
And what's his name who played the High Sparrow in Game of Thrones?
Jonathan Pryce.
Who is freaking great.
He is so good.
He is
in this movie.
Such a perfect Don Quixote.
So anyway, this. I enjoyed this movie. Though.
Yeah, I really did enjoy it. So
I think it. I've seen quite a few. I haven't seen all of them. I've seen quite a few Terry Gilliam movies, and some of them are. You watch and you go, well, okay.
I'm pretty confident Brothers Grimm was a financial failure.
Yeah, I kind of liked Brothers Grimm. But like, the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus or whatever.
Yeah,
that one was interesting. I'll say.
Yeah, I never saw that one.
That
was the one that Heath Ledger.
Was really hot.
That's the one that Heath Ledger died during the filming of, right?
Yeah, and so fortunately they had shot all the stuff set in the real world, and so they just replaced him with I think Johnny Depp and a few other actors. Let's see, Johnny Depp and Colin Farrell, I think, was one of the actors. They replaced him for the stuff inside the Imaginarium.
Yeah. But yeah, this movie though, The Man Who Killed Don Quixote, it definitely feels like a Terry Gilliam movie.
Yeah.
Like, and it's pretty good. I think it deserves better than the like 6 point whatever it has on IMDb.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's it's sort of an interesting take on
6.5
on
out of
Don
10
Quixote.
on IMDb.
It's not like a direct telling of the story.
Yeah, so Adam Driver is a filmmaker, and he's a filmmaker, but he's making commercials for like some big advertising firm.
Yeah, he doesn't really like it,
and he's making a commercial based on a commercial for a Chinese electric company that like I guess made a bunch of wind turbines in Spain, and so he's filming this like Don Quixote commercial, which is really appropriate for
right.
if
You
you're
think
trying
wind
to
turbine is like a windmill, so it's kind of the
but yeah, he's
the connection. That's the connection.
He's in Spain filming this, and it occurs to him, or he gets reminded of this student film he made, which I don't know how like he could have been in Spain filming this Don Quixote commercial and not have remembered this.
Yeah, 10 years ago, he had made a student film that was based on Don Quixote in this little village nearby,
and it's like just a straight Don Quixote telling. Like it's
and so he decides to go visit the village and see, if any of those people are still there, what's changed or whatnot. And he runs into the old man that he had cast as Don Quixote actually thinks he's Don Quixote. And when he sees Adam Driver, Toby is the name of his character. When he sees him, he thinks he's Sancho Panza.
Yep.
And so now he's like stuck with this old man on this like crazy adventure.
And he's getting drug all over the Spanish countryside and like getting caught up in all these antics that are all like based on Don Quixote stories.
Yeah, so events from the book are sort of retold in these set pieces that they come across, but in a set in modern times, it's just this old man who's crazy and he thinks he's Don Quixote and he's dragging Adam Driver along because he thinks Adam Driver is Sancho Panza.
And Adam Driver is going along with it because he feels guilty, like he kind of feels like he did this to this guy.
Yeah, because when he cast him 10 years ago as Don Quixote, now this old man has been living as Don Quixote for the last 10 years.
Yeah.
But it's pretty funny a lot of the time. Just these crazy antics they get
Yeah,
into.
and it's just like it's one of those movies where the situations that they manage to get themselves in are like funnier than any of the any straight up jokes told in the movie.
Yeah, any of the
Or-
there's some funny dialogue, but most of it's like situational.
Yeah, where
things.
it's just like the situation that Adam Driver is in right now is funny because it's just so ridiculous.
Although there was a whole scene with a flock of sheep. Had some really funny dialogue in that scene.
That was really good. That was a really good scene for comedy. But yeah, so if you manage to find a way to see this movie, I do recommend it. Considering that Don Quixote, as a rule, is cursed when it comes to having movies made of it, might be the only one that you ever get to see.
Yeah.
And I mean, Terry Gilliam's attempts at it like just reinforce that curse.
Yeah. But let's see. But yeah, I mean, like Jonathan Pryce was great. Adam Driver was pretty good.
I like Adam Driver and things. I wish he was in more things.
Yeah, this was sort of a departure in that usually Adam Driver plays sort of like a sullen, morose, quiet sort of guy.
Yeah, and he was not that in this.
Yeah, he was definitely a lot more lively in this, and so it's even a really like amusing like dance.
We reviewed Logan Lucky, right?
Did we review Logan? Yeah, I think so. Yeah, we did.
Okay.
And
which is another great Adam Driver movie.
And then Black Klansman, he was in that too.
Oh yeah, he was in that. But he wasn't a main character in that.
But he was a major character.
He was a major character, but yeah, he wasn't a main character in that.
But anyway,
definitely better as that than as Kylo Ren.
He still got his Kylo Ren muscles though.
Yeah.
He's shirtless or has like his shirt open a lot of time in this movie, and he's still like definitely in the Kylo Ren shape.
Oh man, he got so filthy by like 2/3 of the way through that movie. Like his clothes and stuff were just so filthy, like being tossed in the dirt and stuff.
Yeah.
So
falling on like a cow carcass.
Yeah. But spoiler?
Yeah, ready for spoilers?
Yeah. Not that there's a whole lot to spoil. Well, the whole thing with that Russian guy was pretty amusing. It's just like this hyper wealthy Russian playboy.
Yeah. Well, so the joke I was talking about though, with the sheep, they come across this flock of sheep, and Javier, I think, is the actual name of the guy, the old man who thinks he's Don Quixote. He makes a comment about them being a wise Muslim holy men or something, bowing because the sheep will have their heads down.
Yeah, he thinks they're like Moorish like monks or whatever.
Yeah,
whatever their equivalent is.
So Don Quixote was written in the 1600s when there's still a lot of like Moorish involvement in Spain. So anyway, he makes a comment about the sheep, or about calling the sheep like these, Moorish holy men or something, and Adam Driver says they're sheep, Sancho. Just because they worship a heathen god does not mean that you should belittle them so.
Yeah. Heathen god. Yeah, because Don Quixote, being Spanish, is Catholic.
Right.
Yeah, and he even like makes a comment at one point about English being he calls it a Protestant language.
Yeah.
So
and a difficult language because he has a copy of the book,
right?
Don Quixote, or I think the full title is something like something Gentleman Don Quixote of La Mancha.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he's got a copy of it, and I was like, "Well, you mind if I read it?" And he's like, "Sancho, I'm your peasant reading. Besides, Sancho, this is in English."
Yeah. Oh man, the part where they broke the fourth wall to
Yeah.
start to no longer be dealing with Spanish.
Right,
was
because
an interesting scene.
so you know, like in movies when they either have everyone speaking English, but it's understood that they're speaking another language.
Like in Hunt for Red October.
Well, see, in Hunt for Red October, they do it. Another still on Skarsgård.
Right, but that's another good example.
Right, so they have him speaking Russian as they zoom in onto his face when he's reading from the Bible, and it gets to the word of Armageddon, which is the same between Russian and English. It pulls back, and he's speaking English after that, and so it's understood.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't have to keep reading subtitles. Here it is presented in English, but they're speaking Russian. So yeah, the scene in this, he's in this cantina, and he's talking to the guy behind the counter, and they're speaking Spanish back and forth, and Adam Driver goes, he says, "Hold on, we don't need this," and he physically shoves the subtitles off the screen. He says, "We understand each other."
Yeah, and then they're just speaking English for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
So that was a really interesting way to handle that, I think.
Yeah.
I really liked that. Although, like, it's kind of weird because it didn't really get any... There was at no other point where they broke the fourth wall in any way.
No, it wasn't. So it was kind of like weird.
Even in his like crazy like hallucinations and like bad dreams and stuff he was having, they had opportunities to do that sort of thing and get away with it, and they never did.
Yeah,
it
they
again.
never did it again. So that one scene kind of weird. It kind of like.
Yeah, that one scene, like, it was funny, but it felt kind of out of place compared to the rest of the movie up to that point. And actually, for just the rest of the movie. Not even just up to that point, but... Because that was pretty early on in the movie, and so you were just kind of like, oh, okay, so we're going to be, like, cheeky about this, and then just kind of never really went there again.
Yeah.
Except there was one scene where someone spiked the camera, but then the shot changed, and you realize they're staring at Adam Driver. And so the camera was supposed to be like from Adam Driver's point of view.
Yeah.
So like that was like a 3.5 wall break.
Right.
Or like opening the window on the fourth wall, let in a breeze. Right? You're not like Kool-Aid Manning your way through it or anything. Like Deadpool.
Like Deadpool. Oh yeah.
Or Teen Titans Go. But yeah,
so it's an underappreciated movie. But anyway, so the reason this, I think we're in spoiler territory now. The reason this movie is called The Man Who Killed Don Quixote is because Toby, Adam Driver's character, is responsible for the death of the old man.
Yeah, completely by accident.
Yeah, he doesn't. He is a case of mistaken identity. He thinks it's because he's in this balcony. His boss's wife has been trying to come on to him the whole movie, and he's trying to push her away, but he sees that his boss sees him in a compromising situation with his wife, and so he hears someone come running up the stairs. He thinks it's his boss. He grabs like a table leg or something, and when the guy comes bursting through the door, he hits him in the head. It turns out it's the old man. It's Don Quixote, and not his boss, and then he tumbles off the balcony and falls to the ground and passes away soon after. So that's why he is the man who killed Don Quixote.
Yeah.
Which is really broken up about because he grew to like the guy.
Well, it starts off with he feels guilty, he feels responsible for this guy becoming this way. But yeah, he grows to like him, or at least feel like sorry for him.
Yeah.
And like this Russian playboy who just like needs constant elaborate entertainment. Just had a thing in my throat there. I don't know what that was. I think I need some water. But he just needs like constant elaborate entertainment because he gets bored. Yeah. And so
his boss is trying to seal a deal with this guy.
Right. So they put on this like whole act involving stuff from the story Don Quixote, and they like trick the old man into Don Quixoteing it up, basically, and like there's this whole elaborate trick, and like you can tell Adam Driver feels really shitty about the whole situation because
everyone's laughing at
I mean,
him
they're
the whole time.
like taking advantage of a man with like clearly has dementia or some kind of mental disorder, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's pretty fucked up. By the way, I like that Stellan Skarsgård is
The boss.
just he's credited as the boss.
Yeah, he's never given a name in the movie. But anyway, yeah. I recommend if you have the chance, go see this movie. You know, it's I'm gonna say it's like an amazing movie, but it's still a very entertaining movie. And you know, especially if you like Terry Gilliam's work. And if nothing else, it's always interesting work.
Yeah, Terry Gilliam, probably the most popular movie he's ever worked on. It has to be Holy Grail, right?
Yeah, Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Absolutely. After that, I don't know, maybe 12 Monkeys or one of the other Monty Python movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think his movies must just make enough.
Well, he doesn't have like a huge, like I was talking about this last night. Terry Gilliam to me feels like he's more popular than his work, because like everyone at least like knows of Terry Gilliam. They recognize the name if nothing else, but he really hasn't done a whole lot. Is like I said, his biggest movie, like his most popular movie, has to be Monty Python and the Holy Grail. And then other than that, like, 12 Monkeys is just kind of a cult hit.
It was big enough to get a TV series on Sci-Fi.
Yeah, but that didn't last and wasn't real popular. And like I remember we saw it in theater, but like not many people have seen that movie. And I don't know. He doesn't actually have that many credits. He's directed like 20 something movies or something like that, which I mean, granted, what's his nuts is coming out with his 9th movie, and everyone's making a big 12th movie or whatever.
Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino's, yeah. It's this next movie is this 12th movie.
Quentin Tarantino's movies are more financially bigger. Like they do better financially.
Yeah, but like I said, everyone has heard of Terry Gilliam, and you look at it like other than Monty Python stuff, I think he has like 16 credits or something like that as a director, and I mean, he's got like 12 Monkeys, The Brothers Grimm, The Man Who Killed Don Quixote, and
Time Bandits.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I forgot about Time Bandits, but I can't really remember anything else that I couldn't even really name you anything offhand that he's done.
Jabberwocky, which isn't really worth watching.
Oh yeah.
I saw that years ago. Not really worth watching. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah. Okay, so yeah, I guess he's done other stuff, but just he's never like real memorable. Like his stuff's just not real memorable, I guess.
Well, it is visually.
Yeah, it's all like weird, like mind-bending stuff.
I think a lot of the time, though, the plots in his movies are kind of slow.
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of, I don't know. They're always interesting. They're always visually interesting, though. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed The Man Who Killed Don Quixote.
That gypsy really got around, man.
That was an amusing character too.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you have the opportunity to see this, if it ever comes up for distribution in America, Or like I said, if you want to spoof your IP address through a VPN for a country that does have it in some kind of digital distribution, I recommend checking it out. I mean, it's the best Don Quixote movie out there.
Or if you just, I don't know, got money to burn and find it on Blu-ray when that happens.
If that happens.
I haven't even checked to see if what's going on with that. Yeah. So,
what's our next movie? Our next movie is Hellboy, right?
Yeah.
We'll be reviewing that in a couple of days.
And then
I think after that's Avengers, because I think there's nothing between.
Yeah, because no one wants to be like on either side of Avengers if they can help it.
That's fair. I wouldn't want to be. Yeah, so Hellboy, actually, of time of recording, it releases tonight. And then, next week is nothing. That we give a shit about. Another penguin thing from Disney. What is... Someone at Disney just loves them some penguins, man.
Oh.
Yeah, but just like a bunch of...
They made 2 Happy Feet movies, right?
Yeah. Was that Disney?
No.
Okay. Anyway, a bunch of crap that I haven't heard of. And then Avengers Endgame. And we'll review it, and it'll just be putting it, like, dropping a ocean, man. It's just gonna be like a bajillion YouTube videos about Avengers Endgame, and we're just gonna get lost in the shuffle.
It's like you show up to like a huge like office potluck, and then all you brought is like a bag of oyster crackers. Like the little ones that they stick on the side of your chowder bowl.
Right, but everyone else brought buckets and buckets and buckets of oyster crackers. So like everyone brought the same, but everyone brought the same thing, and you brought such a minuscule amount. Like who can really tell which were your oyster crackers? But then 2 weeks after that, right? Yeah, 2 weeks after that's Pokemon Detective Pikachu, which I'm really excited about. I think that movie looks really fun.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm not even a Pokemon fan.
Nope. But then that weekend's also that Tolkien documentary. Is that going to be in theaters?
Probably a limited release at first.
Are we going to see that?
I guess.
Alright. And then the week after that's John Wick 3, Parabellum. Not Parabolum, as I've heard more than one person call it on the internet. It's Parabellum. It's Italian? German. It's German. I don't know. It means for conflict or for war or something like that. And then Aladdin. And then, we're just like, after... So Avengers Endgame comes out, then a week of nothing, and then we get into the, like, summer movie season starts. And so, we've just got stuff coming, man. Like I said, Detective Pikachu. Let me just roll through this. John Wick 3, Aladdin, Godzilla, King of the Monsters, which looks really cool. Every time I see a trailer, I'm not even a particularly big Godzilla fan, but every time I see a trailer for it, I'm just like, God, this movie looks fun.
And you see Rocket Man?
Yeah, we'll see Rocket Man, I'm sure.
Have you seen Yesterday anywhere on that list?
I haven't. Dark Phoenix, Men in Black International, and Shaft on the same weekend. Toy Story 4.
The Dead Don't Die.
Dead Don't Die. Oh, that's going to be a busy weekend, man. That's another Adam Driver movie, by the way. If you haven't seen the trailer for it, go see it. It does look pretty amusing. So it looks like we go like 8 weeks, 7 weeks straight with at least one thing to see every week. And then nothing.
There it is, Yesterday.
Oh yeah, so we'll see that. So,
that's that movie where the guy wakes up and he's the only person who has ever heard of the Beatles.
Yeah. And Spider-Man Far From Home. Stuber looks actually pretty good. I really like Dave Bautista, so I'm down to see that. and then Lion King, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Man, it just keeps going. I'm so excited, man. Hobbs and Shaw, we gonna see that? I mean, it's either that or Dora the Explorer that weekend.
No, that looks bad.
Okay, and then, yeah, we get to a weekend where if we want to see anything, it's going to have to be Artemis Fowl, basically.
I don't think I've even seen a trailer for that.
I've seen a trailer for it. The trailer alone doesn't really make me give a crap about it, and I never...
What?
A Playmobil movie? You saw that, like, that was what your was, right?
That's exactly right. I want to know if it's just, like... If it literally is just like a cheap knockoff of the Lego movie.
That would be actually funny if they like purposely made it that way. Let's take a look here.
Daniel Radcliffe.
Playmobil the movie. Starring Anya Taylor-Joy, Daniel Radcliffe, Gabriel Bateman, Kenan Thompson, Jim Gaffigan, Adam Lambert.
Is that Christopher Lambert?
Yeah, alright. So there's like one big name attached to this movie.
Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Oh, boy howdy. There's a trailer up for it. We'll watch that later. But, man alive, this doesn't look good.
So anyway, I think we should wrap this video up.
Yeah. It's going to be an exciting summer movie season, though, is what I was getting at. Before I got really distracted by the existence of a Playmobil movie. What? So, you know how we were saying how there's a... Oh, yeah, Rambo 5?
Yeah.
Last Blood? As opposed to First Blood.
Yeah, so it bookends it.
Yeah. Yeah, I knew they were working on it. I didn't realize it was coming out on apparently in the end of September, towards the end of September. And a Downton Abbey movie? Man, Dad's gonna be all about that.
And Mom.
Yeah.
They can go see it together.
Yeah, they can. Not gonna do that one. So remember earlier this year we were talking about how there was a major Disney movie release every month, or there was enough for every month. I think there was like 1 month where there was 2, and so there was some other month where there wasn't any. Well, it turns out there's also a Maleficent sequel coming out.
Yeah, that was kind of a surprise. I didn't realize that was happening.
Yep.
There it is.
Yeah, October 18th. Maleficent, Mistress of Evil.
Well, all right.
So many movies coming, man.
Are they really making another Charlie's Angels?
Apparently. Reboot of the 2000 action comedy based on the 1970s television series. Why
not just say is based on the 1970s television series?
Yeah.
It's got Jimon Hansu, though.
Yep. So, yeah, if you enjoy our ramblings about Don Quixote de la Mancha, Knight Errant, and you want to check out some of our other reviews, what was the last thing we did?
What was the last thing we did? We just looked that up.
We see so many movies.
Everything runs together eventually.
Yeah.
Dumbo.
Yeah. So if you want to check out our review of Dumbo, that's up. Our review of Hellboy should be up probably in 2 to 3 days. Oh man, that's Sonic the Hedgehog movie in November though. Look at that. Look at that poster.
Furry.
Oh jeez. Oh man.
Furry. Hedgehogs are spiny.
Yeah, I know. It's gonna be a bad movie though.
Yeah, probably.
And so yeah, that's what we got coming up. There's a Rift Tracks thing next week.
Yeah, we're not gonna review.
We're not gonna review Octoman. Not Octoman. Octoman, right? Because he's like an octopus.
Yeah.
Right. Go watch that. Rift Tracks is really great. That's a thing you should do. You should give more money to those guys so they keep doing that stuff.
Yes, you should.
And it's also this is going to be an encore stream of it through Fathom.
I think the following week.
The following week. Okay, yeah.
So.
So go check that out. Especially because there's nothing to see next week because no one wants to be on either side of Avengers Endgame, and who can blame them? All right.
Yep.
Until next time. Defend chivalry.
Sayonara.
Sayonara. Toodles.